Awesome Championship Wrestling returns to the MJN Convention Center in Poughkeepsie on May 17th with Aftershock, presented by Aspire Brewing and Mid-Hudson Pump. In action, you'll see the ACW World Champion Richard Holliday defend his title against Indie God Matt Cardona. The crowning of the ACW Tag Team Championship will take place inside a steel cage as Poughkeepsie's own The Now take on Sent to Slaughter. You'll experience history as the first ACW Women's Champion will be crowned in an elimination match featuring Kelly Madden, Vicky Venuto, Tiara James, Tina San Antonio, and former WWE superstar Indy Hartwell. On the card, you'll also see Real One, formerly known as Enzo Amore, TNA wrestling stars Moose and Mike Santana, ECW legends Tommy Dreamer, Danny Doring, Little Guido, and Joel Gerdner, wrestling legend Crowbar, straight from Jersey Shore Family Vacation, Zach Clayton, and many others. Tickets can be purchased through Ticketmaster, or you can save on fees by visiting the MJN box office in person or buying over the phone. VIP meet and greet packages and more can be found at thisisacw.com.
Welcome into a very special episode here on BCP Plus. We're going to take a look back at Monday Night Raw and take a look forward into tonight's stellar NXT episode. Let's get you guys in the chat. As always, we want you to chat along with us. So let me know what you thought about last night's Monday Night Raw. I want to know also what you guys think about NXT coming up tonight. Should be a solid show. I'm looking forward to seeing that battle royale for the number one contenders, see some of those LFG guys in there. I don't know if you guys are watching LFG like we are. I've been enjoying it so far. I have some thoughts on that for sure. If you guys have LFG thoughts, you can throw those in there as well. We see some of the Evolve kids coming in there, some of these ID, I don't want to say kids, but these ID up and comers in there as well. So guys, please share the stream. I'll share it out as well. Let me know what you thought about last night's Monday Night Raw. And I thought it was a solid show. We'll talk about first that Paul Heyman promo, which, man, just showed some range. And we weren't surprised to see it because we knew how good Paul Heyman was. But this was a really great Monday Night Raw to start the week off here for WWE. After what I thought was an okay SmackDown last week, the Friday before with the TLC, and I think that was the SmackDown after WrestleMania on Friday, was probably one of the best SmackDowns in recent memory. That was really good. Last Friday, not so much for me personally, but last night's Raw was really, really great. And we opened with Jay coming out, of course, with the Yeets and Paul Heyman interrupting and kind of saying what we think is his piece with everything that was going on. I thought it was a stellar promo. So let's start there, guys. What did you guys think of Paul Heyman's promo? I thought it was a ton of fun. I thought it explained a lot of the moving parts that we saw with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Essentially, I loved how Paul came out and said about Roman, and it kind of makes sense. I had said this on a previous episode of BCP Plus, that I wanted to hear what Heyman had to say when he had that sit down with Sammy. He's like, hey, don't forget, we were OG bloodline. Like, I have my reasons for essentially turning on Roman. And sure enough, we see Paul Heyman, aligning himself with Seth Rollins, now Braun Breaker. People are calling them Evolution 2.0 or so I've heard. So let me hear your theories with that as well. Are we going to get another member? Is it going to be Becky Lynch? I've heard people saying Austin Theory would be the Randy Orton. I think I had heard that on CVV's show. So very interesting stuff. But this Paul Heyman promo, I love that he made everything make sense as far as what happened in that night one main event. You had Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Seth Rollins, and essentially you had Heyman turn, a lot of moving parts, a lot of wrestling. Heyman turn on CM Punk and then turn on Roman Reigns. So obviously leaving with Seth, he kind of finally explains that tonight. And I think it was really well done. I love what he essentially said about the Roman Reigns part, where he said, hey, OG bloodline, I found him when he was just the big dog. And chronologically, it makes a lot of sense. I remember that first time you saw Heyman backstage with Roman, you're like, ooh, what is this? And ever since then, the bloodline, the tribal chief, the Ula Fala, one of the longest running long-term storylines in WWE. I feel the bloodline's cooled off. We'll talk about that later. But he essentially said, hey, when I was put through a table at Madison Square Garden, Roman didn't come back to help me. Roman came back just to regain the Ula Fala, to have that bloodline civil war, to feud with Solo. It wasn't to defend Paul Heyman. And I thought that was interesting. Even though Paul went back with Roman, it kind of didn't feel the same. I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but to me, it didn't feel like the same as it was. So let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. But to me, it didn't feel the same when he was back with Roman. So now he explains that, and he said, Roman didn't come back to avenge me. I helped him. He lost at WrestleMania. He went away to deal with the blood. I had to deal with the bloodline myself, this new bloodline. He went away to lick his big dog wounds or paws or however he phrased it. And I thought that kind of helped connect the dots with the Roman thing. So that was good. And then he basically said about Punk, he said, hey, he was my best friend. Excuse me while I share this out, guys. And he pretty much kind of like used me, the way he said the favor thing, which I thought was a very fair point. I don't know what you guys think about that. But I loved Heyman's promo. I'm not surprised it was so good. It was absolutely fantastic. But what did you guys particularly think of Heyman's promo? I thought it was excellent. All right, but let's move on here. Make sure we shoot this out to the chat so everyone can tune on in if you guys get a minute. Let's see if we can get the chat going here. All right, guys. And let's move on to, I believe the first match was Penta versus JD McDonough. Now, great to see JD back. One of those guys, like I almost wish he wasn't a heel because his moveset is so great. And he's great at selling as well. But the match with him and Penta was really, really, really good. And Penta looked super strong in this one because there was interference from the Judgment Day. I believe that Chad, I almost said Americano. I get them confused sometimes. Sorry. Chad Gable got involved as well, which was very, very interesting. And for Penta to hit the Canadian destroyer or the Mexican destroyer, as they're calling it, really, really great match, first of all. But Penta outlasted not just the Judgment Day, but Chad Gable. There were so many things going against him. I'm like, man, he's not going to win this one. And also JD's just coming back. So I'm thinking, JD's definitely going to win this one. And Penta comes out looking really, really strong, defeating JD McDonough of the Judgment Day. So, I mean, I thought it was a great match. And not to say I'm shocked Penta won. Penta's been one of my favorites from AEW. Him and Phoenix, ironically, were my favorites. So great to see Penta get this momentum. And it's cool to see the kids really getting into the way I was into Rey Mysterio. So I absolutely love that. We have Sheamus taking on Austin Theory, where he just beat the heck out of Austin Theory. I thought it was great selling by Theory, but it looked like Sheamus was really, Sheamus was really, really laying it in there. And he took a beating. We know a little bit of that story there with Grayson Waller. Perhaps this is the beginning of the end of A-Town Down Under, former SmackDown tag team or former WWE tag team champions. So we'll see what happens with that. But solid match. Sheamus looking really, really strong. Then we have this promo. Kofi Wheatston in the chat. What's up, Kofi? So good to see you, man. I always get a big smile every time I see you in the chat, man. I hope you're doing well, man. Hope the week is treating you well. I hope to see you at a wrestling show soon, man. I miss your face, man. So good to see you. We have Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria with a kind of a promo brawl segment. I said this last time on the show. Again, super disclaimer, we have been the biggest Becky show day one here on BCP. We had Becky cut out in the back. We've been waving the Becky flag for I don't know how long. Seen her journey since coming up to the main roster. We have been such a pro Becky show. But I'll be fair, I didn't love not to say I didn't love the heel turn, but replace Bayley, win the tag titles, lose the tag titles the next night, turn heel instantly. And then she cut a promo, I believe, last week where it was essentially, hey, I'm a bad guy now. And I'm not discrediting it. It just, to me, it wasn't my favorite promo. She was saying all the bad guy things. And there's obviously history with Lyra. My theory was last week, and I'll say it again, Lyra's an amazing wrestler. She's really, really good. Very nice person, but she needs some way to connect with the crowd a little bit more. And I want that for her. And I see it there. I think what they're going to do is essentially, since Becky is such a heel now, is almost garner sympathy. That'll bring me to my backlash picks tomorrow night. That'll garner sympathy for Lyra. So I think that's kind of where the fans are going to get on board with Lyra. Lyra has defeated Becky already, I think, for the NXT championship. Correct me if I'm wrong. Guys, we'll get to the chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. But I think the Becky promo, even last night, it really didn't do it for me. She does like the garbage line, right? And it was clever. It was clever. I'll give her that. But she calls her garbage. She calls her recycling, and she makes her points. Just to me, I say this every single show. I like everything in a neat little package. I like all the dots to connect, which is why I liked Heyman's promo so much, because everything really connected, and we got reasons for things. I always want to know the why. Like the why to me is like the biggest thing. I want to know the reason. So Becky, is it jealousy? She's come back. Is it is it being away so long? Is it I don't know. Lyra's on the come up. Maybe it's that, just storyline wise. So Becky does the garbage promo. She talks about recycling. She calls, and Lyra comes out and cuts a really good promo, like really, really good. She hangs with Becky on the mic, but I felt like Lyra's stuff was more believable than Becky's. And I hate saying that because we've always said how great Becky was. Just for me right now, I think I'd rather see Becky as a face, but I see why she's a heel. I think this is going to set up Becky for SummerSlam. I do think, and we'll make our official picks tomorrow night, I do think Becky is going to beat Lyra Valkyria at Backlash to garner some sympathy. But what do you do with Lyra next? So I really want to see what happens. If you remember with Becky, when she kind of did that initial heel turn, and then she became the man because the fans were so behind her. And the big thing that happened was her nose got broken by Nia Jax, and it almost made her more badass. A lot of Stone Cold comparisons there, forgive the language. And I think the fans really, really gravitated towards her from that. And I think Lyra needs that. I don't want to say badass moment, but Lyra needs something that lets us go on the journey with her, something that connects the fans, because her entrance is there where you could participate in the entrance. She's such a fantastic wrestler. The tag team with Bayley was something I didn't know I wanted, but when they ran that gauntlet on SmackDown, I thought it was so fantastic. I want to see more of that tag team. I had them to win at WrestleMania, actually, but we saw Becky come in, and things are just a little confusing. After WrestleMania has been a little confusing between the Rock stuff and the non-connection to Cena and some of the stuff that the Rock has said on that. It just which is my least favorite thing. In the chat, I'm seeing some people saying Rhea Ripley is going to win the Women's World Championship back. Well, we'll certainly see what happens with that. Rhea not there last night because Io took on Roxanne Perez in a really good match, and you knew it would be. I think it's safe to say Roxanne is officially on the main roster. They kind of do that thing where they're on like both shows for a while, so we'll see if Roxanne's on tonight. We'll take a look at that NXT lineup in just a minute. But Roxanne versus Io Sky, really, really great match. But again, a little bit of no. I'm sorry, not interference. We had a clean ending. Io was shown respect by Roxanne. A little bit of the bow, the handshake, and Roxanne walks away. And I'm kind of like, it did get me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, okay, like you know what? I get that. This is cool for Roxanne. Like I like that. Like you're on the main roster now. Like let's change it up a bit. And then Julia comes up and attacks Io. So I'm just like, so gonna have that tag match next week. But really good match between the Genius of the Sky and the Prodigy. Roxanne Perez has always been ahead of her years. We have Rusev taking on Otis. Both men I've had the pleasure of interviewing. You can check out my interview with Rusev over on the popbreak.com from a couple years ago. And Otis from 2 Rumbles ago, we talked to Otis, and he was a lot of fun. So check that out over on the BCP Plus YouTube channel. And of course, Otis takes on Rusev. You pretty much knew what was going to happen here. Rusev really lays it into Otis. Otis did his best, but taps out to the Accolade. And then Tozawa steps to Rusev, which I really liked. I'm a huge Tozawa fan, even though he lost his spot in the Rumble. And Rusev kind of walks away, but then runs back in and attacks Tozawa as well. Give me Tozawa versus Rusev next week. I'm here for it. We have the Pat McAfee promo against Gunther. I said on last week's show, I really, really, really did not love the the attack on Michael Cole being the next move for Gunther and then Pat getting involved. I still think this is a way to write Pat off. I went on and on last week, and I won't spend too much time on it, about how I don't love it when the announcers, even in the indies or on TV, get involved. Pat can go. Pat can wrestle. Great match with Adam Cole. I think we've seen him in a Rumble and some other match. And he can go. And he's going to do a great job. He's going to put on a great match with Gunther. So I don't completely hate it. I'm scared. I don't think Pat's going to win. But the fact that that's a possibility scares me. That there's a 2% chance that that McAfee could win. I don't have him winning. I think there's a way to write him off. But I am very, very skeptical on this. Real quick, let me go to the chat because I see people chiming in. Kelvin, what's up, man? How are you, bro? They did a good job. Kelvin, of course, No Gimmicks podcast. They did a good job making things matter on Raw. Yeah, Tozawa Rusev is a prime example. Yeah, I would really want to see that. Tozawa was my dude. And shameless promo, check out our interview with Tozawa over on BCP Plus on YouTube. Yeah, good stuff, Kelvin. But getting back to and let me know what you guys think about this Pat McAfee thing. Maybe I'm being too harsh on him. I'm just not a fan of the announcers getting in the ring. Pat can go. It's going to be good. And Pat had a great promo. Like it made me like it a little bit more. Pat had a great promo. I love the things he was saying. I love the things Gunther was saying. We almost have a more, I don't want to say unleashed Gunther, but we've seen weaknesses in Gunther during this reign. And Pat said, Pat kind of said it like I've said it on the show. Gunther's run was not what I thought it would be after the IC run and when he won the world championship. Like we had him winning the world championship, but his run wasn't what I thought. He lost to Cody. He lost to Jay, which I thought would happen. But there were a couple things there. He even did some good guy stuff here and there. So he wasn't like a monster. He's always had respect for the mat. He's always very been put together, which he mentions in this promo. And Pat just pretty much said, not what I'm saying, but he called him soft. He said he got soft, and the crowd starts chanting it. And Gunther's like, okay, like you want to bring it down to me? He goes, how about this? Like I'm gonna prepare. I'm gonna be ready. Like I'm gonna do it the way I did it. And I like that from Gunther. But to me, it just. I feel like, and help me out here, guys. Like, I feel like Gunther is here because he's Gunther, and Pat is a non-wrestler, even though he can go. So he's in terms of wrestling, like not star power or show. I'm not knocking Pat. Love his show. He's highly entertaining. Love him on commentary. He's really good in the ring. But Gunther saying, "Hey, like I'm going to be ready," and da-da-da, it does elevate Pat, which you should do. You should elevate your opponent. I don't consider Pat this sounds so disrespectful saying this, but I don't consider Pat like a larger than life wrestler that a superstar. I don't consider him a WWE superstar. I consider him a great commentator and a talk show host, and a WWE personality and a key player in WWE. I feel bad to say, I feel like I'm talking negatively, but like, I just don't see him as a wrestler. But he's going to go in there. He's going to prove me wrong. He's done it. That thing, the match with Adam Cole was great. He's going to train for this. He's going to be ready. His promo was great. I do love seeing the stuff like he's wanted to be a pro wrestler his whole life, and he made that comparison with Gunther. So I really do like that. I like the promo. I liked it better than the last one. And Cole's just kind of sitting there like, oh, don't shine a spotlight. That's me, by the way. Don't shine a spotlight on me, and da-da-da, and like, why are you doing this? Da-da-da, and just like, thank you for all the compliments, but let's move forward. I'm scared how strong they're gonna make Gunther look, or how weak Nope, I said it wrong. I'm scared how strong they're gonna make Pat look, and how weak they're gonna make Gunther look by default, if that makes sense to you guys. I'm really intrigued by this match. I don't know what you would have done with Gunther otherwise. I just did not see him going after commentary. But again, I'm assuming this is a way to write Pat off the show for a little bit. I could be wrong. And sorry to be so critical of that. I think this might be one of those things where I'm proven wrong, and I hope it's a great match, and I just hope everyone looks like where they're supposed to be, if that makes sense. All right, let's talk about Seth Rollins against Jey Uso. And Ron's going to win this one by DQ. But did this remind you just a little bit? I don't want to get too carried away. Did this remind you guys a little bit of WrestleMania 40 with this, like the people keep popping out and then like the cameos and Sammy coming out? I don't know. I think just the way like the entrance music hit and they started running out. First of all, really good match. I'm sad it ended in a DQ. It needed to because they're both so short. You don't want Seth to lose here. You don't want Jay to lose here because he just won the championship. And I hate it when I say that. It's like, oh, it's too soon. I hate that because I say it way too much. And that's not how it should be, but it's too soon. Jay looked really strong in this match. Seth, one of the best wrestlers on the roster. He makes it look so easy. Multiple finishers, multiple Falcon arrows. Like he can do Phoenix Splash, the reverse of the spear into the pedigree, curb stomp. I mean, his arsenal's insane. Obviously, is a coach and trainer over at Black and Brave with Merrick Brave over there. So he's just so good. And this was such a great match, but it ended in DQ, and it was just like, I was watching, I'm like, this is such a good match. Like, oh, where's this going to go? And I'm thinking, there's no way it has a clean ending. And it didn't. Great to see Sammy come out. Did anyone think Sammy was going to help Seth? Did anyone just think that for a second? Like after what happened last week? Sammy gets speared, but he does help Jay. A lot of kickouts, a lot of false finishes in this one, which made it a really, really good match. I loved it. But ultimately, trying to remember how it ended. Oh, Punk. That's what it was. That's what I remember. That Punk comes out with the chair, making the save, and the match ends in the DQ, which is the right call. You have Jay and Punk standing in the ring and the retreating Evolution 2.0, whatever we're calling this group, with Seth. Let me go to the chat real quick. Kelvin, help me out here. I don't like this being the root for Gunther after losing to Jay. Just being honest. Okay, it's not just me. Good. I felt bad being so critical of it, and I think Pat's going to put on a great show, but I don't want Pat to look like strong or like it would be like if Pat won the IC title. Like I just really good wrestler. He can do it. He can hang. He's put on great matches, but and he talked the talk last night. It was a really good promo, but he should get his butt kicked by Gunther, right? Like he should get destroyed, right? I could be wrong here. Kelvin also saying, yes, it had the feel the 40s ending. Okay, it wasn't just me that had that feeling. Yeah, just as it was happening, I'm like, a little bit of WrestleMania 40 here. I don't want to get too carried away with that. But then after the match, and shame on me because I turned this off. So I don't know if this was just on social media. Help me out here if it was. I turned it off at the end of the match when they were in the ring. The little produced by, which I should have learned when the copyright thing goes up or the credits roll or whatever. Never turn it off. Doesn't mean it's over. We've learned that from Ciampa and Gargano back in NXT days. Never trust the lower thirds. They pop up. Doesn't mean the show's over. So I turned it off, but apparently I saw and guys with the dirt sheets. Like, come on. Like, I know what we're doing with the headline. Fan attacks Jey Uso after Raw. And it was Logan Paul, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, dressed up as a fan in a hoodie or a mask or whatever, jumps the barrier or just attacks Jay after everything. So saying a fan attack, like I get what you're doing, but just for clicks, I hate that stuff. Please, come on, guys. Don't do that stuff. Don't do that stuff with the spinning. I've had some of my stuff spun and it's not cool. It is not cool. I've legit apologized to people I've interviewed for other people spinning stuff. So I'll leave it at that. I hate that stuff. I'm just putting it out there. But anyway, Logan Paul attacks Jey Uso after all. Again, I did not see this, but looks like we're setting up, if this match isn't already official, this will be the Backlash match. But Seth versus Jay was so darn good. So really strong, really, really strong Monday Night Raw. Let's take a look ahead to NXT. And guys, if you're watching, please go over to BCP Plus on YouTube. Excuse me. As we continue to grow the channel, we have the Vicious Vicky Venuto with one of the best matches of her career against TNA's Tessa Blanchard from 2300 Arena on Saturday. Vicious One was the surprise opponent for the Undeniable One, and what a great match it was. So you can check it out exclusively right now. And I'm sure the footage will be up from the show. But you can check out some fan footage exclusively right now on BCP Plus on YouTube. Tonight on NXT, Jordan Grace, Julia battle. They're going to go for that #1 contender spot for the NXT Women's Championship against one of my favorites, Stephanie Vaquer. Who gets it? Is it going to be Julia or Jordan Grace? I'm going to say Jordan Grace, guys. Let me know in the chat who you have. We also have Joe Henry teaming up with Hank and Tank, Honk Honk, against some groups, some of the 3 out of the 4 of Dark State. I do want to see Trick and Joe in the ring together as well. It doesn't look like that's going to happen tonight, but we do have the #1 contenders battle royal for the NXT championship match at Battleground. I'm going to click on that in a second just to look at the contenders. And then Kalani Jordan set to battle Zarya here. If you look at the interaction between Zarya, and I've said this before, Zarya came in real strong, looked like a beast, looked like a monster, came out in the crowd with the lights. And now she has a little bit more levity and personality with Sol Ruca, who's been awesome as well. One of the best finishers in the business, the Soul Snatcher. But Zarya, to me, felt a bit watered down. I thought she was right there with Julia and Stephanie Vaquer when they all came in. And again, I am nitpicking. This is one of the best, if not the best women's division in all of pro wrestling here in the NXT roster. This is going to be a great match. But if you look at Soul's last match, and forgive me, there's so much wrestling. I think it was last week on NXT. Did she take on one of the Fatal girls? Trying to remember who she fought. But when Soul's holding up her title after she retains, Zarya's holding up too. And it's one of those things where you look at the picture and Zarya's looking at the title. So I see some, I don't want to say dissension, but I see some sort of attack here by Zarya coming up on Sol Ruca. We'll put that on the record. I do see that coming. We'll have our Sol Ruca perhaps versus Zarya at Battleground. That's just my thought. And let's take a look. Do we have a graphic for the Battle Royal? Let's see if I can find that graphic real quick before we get out of here. And Battle Royale. Let's go to the NXT Twitter and see if we can pull it up, guys. And thank you guys who joined the chat. I know it's after work. Just wanted to get this review out real quick. We'll go WWE NXT. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. See the graphics here. There was a graphic, all 25. I think it had all 25. We'll see. Perhaps we'll have some surprises. That would be really cool for the #1 contender. It's looking like Trick will be the heavy favorite. I'll give it a shot. I know I saw some of the LFG guys. I know that we had also seen some of the Evolve guys. So that should be interesting as well. I'm not finding that graphic. Give me one more. Maybe if I Google it. Let's go. WWE NXT Battle Royale tonight. Let's go to, it's not on the website, images. Aha, I got it right here. I should have Googled it out the gate. Sorry about that, guys. Taking a look. Great to see Timothy Thatcher back on NXT. That's really, really cool. I'm excited for this one. We also have Swipe Right. Both of them will be in it. Sean Legacy from Evolve. A couple of the LFG guys. I think I see Shiloh in there. Chris, I see. What's his name? Sean Spears, I see in there. I see William Regal's son in there. I'm trying to see who else. This is a great mix. Lexus King, Wes Lee. I think I see Briggs, Trick, of course, All Ego, Ethan Page in there, Javon Evans. So this should be, I'm really excited for this. Do I have 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'm counting 23, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, I got 23 on the picture. That leaves 2 open spots. Maybe we see Joe Henry in there. He's on earlier in the night, but 2 open spots. Let's keep that in mind. So NXT tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys checking in on a work day for our quick NXT preview and our Raw review. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. We will see you tomorrow night, 10:15 EST, as we make our WWE backlash predictions with a great panel here, the BCP crew guys. And like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace. BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks Podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin, only on the No Gimmicks Podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back our sponsors, Sweet Chin Musings. Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE-recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Conor McCallum. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure, with over $150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for the months of May and June, J. Adam Photography. Jay provides quality, artistic, innovative photography with a quick turnaround time. Be sure to check out his latest ISPW wrestling pics and much more stellar content. Right now, wrestlers can do a special portrait shoot with Jay in Sparta, New Jersey for just $50. Contact Jay at Jay Vogel on Facebook and be sure to follow him across socials. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring the BCP. Guys, let's welcome in our new pod sponsor, Cooper Groove Grips. When you play Cooper Groove drumsticks, you get increased sensory feedback from your hands, so your grip will naturally loosen, but you have complete control. With that taking place, you don't have fatigue and soreness, which can lead to long-term issues. Guys, as a drummer, Cooper Groove is my drumstick of choice. Sweaty hands aren't a problem. Grip is good. Don't forget to check out their amazing Cooper Groove bats coming out soon. Guys, follow at Cooper Groove Grips on Facebook. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsors, ISPW Weekly, where we dive deep into the world of ISPW, the crossroads of professional wrestling. Join Jumpin' Jay and Total with Tom every week as they interview the stars of the ring, uncover their stories, rivalries, and the electrifying action that defines ISPW. Be sure to check out ISPW Weekly on the ISPW Facebook page every week. Please welcome in our new pod and daily site sponsor, Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa, located in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Twisted Shamrock is a retro spa experience for the average Joe and Jane. Meet the next evolution of recovery and relaxation. Right now, you can try their introductory offer, where you can try a core service to include massage, skincare, facial, stretch therapy, body slimming, toning, personal training, and spray tanning for 30 minutes for just $30. This is perfect for our wrestling pals as well. Book today. Call 484-574-8868 or visit www.twistedshamrockstudiospa.com. Guys, please welcome back our returning podcast sponsor, USDN. USDN podcast is run by USDN Chairman and the Council of Nerds. We bring you all the latest news and rumors from the world of nerds and consolidate it right here at the U.S. Department of Nerds. USDN is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Follow them at facebook.com/US Department of Nerds. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for 2025, the Ropes and Riffs podcast, featuring Maestro John Kiernan, speaking with the stars of professional wrestling about their in-ring, tunage, gear, and so much more. Check out John's interviews with the likes of Lince Dorado, Mercedes Martinez, and so much more. Find the Ropes and Riffs podcast on all major podcast platforms. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsor, EM Collectibles, featuring live signings, collectibles, toys, and more. Be sure to follow them on Facebook and stay tuned for their upcoming events. Upcoming events right now, March 8th, Hernando Toy and Comic Show at the Hernando County Fairgrounds, live signing with Super Crazy. March 22nd, Neg Dog Championship Wrestling presents Music and Mayhem in Hudson, Florida with special guest Super Crazy. March 29th and 30th, 2025 Syracuse Collectors Con in Syracuse, New York with Bill Alfonso, Gary Wolf, and the quintessential stud muffin Joel Gertner, March 30th only. April 5th, New England Fan Fest, and we'll have Buff Bagwell. April 13th, 2025, our premiere show, Bring Back the Memories Toy Show, and May 10th, our renowned 90s Wrestling Con in Morristown, New Jersey, guests to be named soon. BCP is sponsored by Warriors of Wrestling. Saturday, May 10th at Most Precious Blood Church in Brooklyn, New York, featuring former TNA superstar James Storm. Also featuring The Allfather, Darius Carter, Danny Moff, Chris Steeler, TJ Marconi, Warriors champ Roger Mendez, Danny Storm, Mike Titello, and a whole lot more. Get your tickets now at warriorsofwrestling.com. BCW and Shadow Wrestling Alliance present Anniversary 8, a Jurassic celebration honoring the life of Vince Steele. Live Sunday, May 25th at the Mecca in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey.